Boa noite a todos. Meu nome é Paulo Luizada, eu sou o CEO da Transire Eletrônicos do Brasil e hoje estamos aqui para entrevistar o Sun Yan. O nome dele é ocidental, vocês podem chamar ele de Larry, tá bom? O Larry, ele é vice-presidente da PAX Technology. Ele é vice-presidente e a PAX é um fornecedor líder de dispositivos e soluções de pagamento. E durante seus 20 anos de trabalho no setor de pagamentos, ele acumulou experiências abundantes no processo de transformação de pagamentos na China e no exterior. Entre as primeiras pessoas a introduzir e implementar a tecnologia NFC, que todo mundo conhece, na comunicação que todas as máquinas usam para pagamentos com cartões e celulares, ele tem uma visão profunda do progresso da evolução e dos métodos de pagamento. Para quem não conhece, a PAX é uma empresa global e é focada em fornecer inovações e soluções de pagamento eletrônico. E ela, com produtos de classe mundial, custo, qualidade superior, ela tem apresentado um crescimento mais expressivo do segmento, focando em pesquisa e desenvolvimento e na sua fabricação. Para quem não sabe também, a PAX é a marca de terminais de pagamento mais vendida no Brasil, sendo representada, fabricada e distribuída em nosso território pela Transire e pela PAX do Brasil, tá bom? Uma pequena introdução aí para todo mundo se situar com relação à profundidade dessa entrevista com o Larry, tá bom? Todo mundo sabe, os meios de pagamentos é um dos que mais está em ebulição atualmente. Vemos no mundo os movimentos de pagamentos instantâneos como o WeChat na China, com centenas de milhões de usuários, a tentativa do Facebook em lançar a Libra, recentemente o WhatsApp lançando também o seu pagamento instantâneo e sendo bloqueado aí pelo Banco Central logo na sequência. E além disso temos o PIX também, que vocês devem estar acompanhando nas notícias, que é o sistema de pagamento instantâneo digital proposto pelo Banco Central, com previsão inicial de estar no ar em novembro. O Brasil está prestes a entrar, né, de forma decisiva nesse estágio que os meios de pagamentos digitais se tornam relevantes e, ao que tudo indica, predominantes num futuro próximo, tá bom? Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, de forma tímida abrindo esse mercado, as mais atuais como PicPay, PayPal, Google Pay, Mercado Pago e PagSeguro. Então, estamos realmente prestes a vivenciar uma nova realidade. Ela pode nos aproximar do estágio vivido na China, que é o maior mercado de pagamentos digitais no mundo, com participação próxima a 85% de todos os pagamentos feitos no país. Lá o sistema é dominado pelas duas plataformas, Alipay e WeChat, né, que é semelhante ao nosso WhatsApp aqui no Brasil, e juntas representam 94% de todos os pagamentos digitais. E são ligadas ao ecossistema do grupos Alibaba e Tencent, que todos conhecem, né, um grande investidor dessa área. Além da China, os pagamentos digitais já são muito representativos aí no Sudeste Asiático, em países como Tailândia, Vietnã, Indonésia, Singapura, entre outros. E é esse o tema, pessoal, desse encontro, como está o mercado de pagamentos chinês e o que podemos aprender com ele. E quando seremos influenciados por ele, bastante importante. E será que seguiremos efetivamente para o mesmo caminho? Então, pessoal, aproveitem. Vamos convidar agora o Larry. Larry, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Larry. And I have already made a brief introduction about you, your expertise, your company, and the floor is all yours, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paulo. My greetings from Beijing, China, to all my friends here in Brazil. I was supposed to travel there, but because of the pandemic situation, I have to make this speech from home. I hope everything goes well. My name is Sun Yin. I'm a vice president of PAX Technology. I have been working in this company and in the electronic payments field for the last 20 years. So I've been witnessing the huge migration, the huge progress in the electronic payment field. I prepared some slides, hopefully that I can share some information and experience that we have here in China. Hope this could inspire you in your field as well. First of all, I'd like to play a short video clip showing some live scenes about mobile payment in China.
how often do you actually use cash?
Not much.
Here in Shenzhen, China, a city many refer to as Silicon Valley East, cash is quickly becoming a thing of the past. People aren't pulling out the plastic much either. All over China, more and more consumers are going all mobile all the time. And they're not doing this using screen after screen of apps. They're mostly using just two mega apps from two Chinese companies that are also collecting almost unfathomable amounts of consumer data. In this episode of Moving Upstream, we explore what's behind this made in China phenomenon and whether it's poised to sweep the planet. Soon after crossing the bridge from Hong Kong to mainland China, we realized the extent to which we're outsiders. We see everyone everywhere scanning QR codes, paying for food, transport, and consumer goods with their phones. Since we don't have Chinese bank accounts, when in Shenzhen, we couldn't do as the Shenzhenians. My colleague Matt McDonald and I needed a guide, someone to show us what this pay with your phone business is all about. Naomi Wu, one of the more eccentric members of Shenzhen's tech community, agreed to be that for us. She asked us to meet her at her office. It's one of those trendy co-working spaces.
We're heading to the snack bar.
All right, I'll take one of these. Here at this co-working space, payment with cash or credit cards isn't an option.
When I'm working on the Raspberry Pi project.
Naomi, at 24 years old, is a tech developer and internet personality. We chose her because she promotes Shenzhen's tech lifestyle. Naomi also identifies herself as a maker. What do you make?
I make, in my video, I made tons of impractical things.
Impractical things.
I always do things as a proof of concept.
In February, Naomi will grace the cover of the tech world prestigious Make magazine. Okay, so she's not your typical Chinese person, but she says the way she uses her phone is. In 2016, Chinese consumers spent $9 trillion in mobile payments, dwarfing the $112 billion spent in the US. Do you have cash in your purse right now?
I still have it. I still think it's emergency. Sometimes they don't have the changes to give you and you have to wait.
So annoying.
Yeah, so annoying.
Right, the first stop on our adventure. Ready for lunch? Lunch.
We can buy the meal before we go.
But why are we paying for the meal before we even go to the restaurant?
Because it's a little bit cheaper than paying there. It's maybe we pay in advance. Maybe we save like $3 or $4, and then.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit frugal.
To get there, we could rent a bike.
I'm going to scan the QR code on the bike. So the code is 3232.
Shit. Let's go for a ride. Naomi says bikes aren't her thing, so we decided to call a taxi, using, again, the WeChat app. Taxis here don't take credit cards. They do accept, indeed prefer, WeChat Pay.
你好.
Naomi shows our prepaid reservation, and we hit the buffet.
Okay, I believe this shows a live scene about how here we in China use the mobile payment in everyday life. Actually, what the video shows was a little bit outdated already. I think it was taken in 2017 or 18. Now the penetration of mobile payment is even more, and new technologies are widely accepted every day from now. I will come to that part a little bit later in this introduction. So in China, we call the when we talk about payment field today, we mostly are talking about non-banking payment, because the banks, they mostly focus on big amount corporate payment. when it involves the individual persons, it's usually done by the non-bank payment institutions. Here I have a major milestone of this field. In 2002, the UnionPay was created. I think this is the beginning of everything that happens in the payment. Only after UnionPay was established was there the chance to connect every bank in China, because basically all the banks, they need to operate their individual payment business through UnionPay. This is a government company, and it has the power to persuade all the banks to follow their regulations, to connect to the network. In 2003, the direct payment gateways were established to banks. This opens the possibilities for the companies like Alipay or WeChat Pay to get direct access to the banks. And in 2005, Alipay started to work with accounts. That means from this year, they started to have their intermediate accounts that can work with the users and the merchants in the e-commerce field. Through 2008 and 2010, we saw fast growth with e-commerce. It was so fast that it basically doubled every year. And in 2011, the central bank started to provide licenses for the non-bank payment companies. And in 2013, Alipay introduced their service to use your balance as the investment fund. This is something quite particular in China. When you use Alipay, for example, you always keep some balance in your Alipay wallet. And in 2011, they turned this balance into an investment fund. That means if you keep this money there in Alipay, you get rewarded, you get interest doing nothing. You just keep the money there, you get like, in the best time, I think it was like 11, 12% per year. That actually was a big attraction to many of the individuals, and they started to put relatively more money in this account. And in 2014, this was the year of the start of mobile payment. It first started with taxi, that you pay taxi driving with mobile payment. And then they started a huge campaign of red envelope. The red envelope actually is a short, I think it's a mini application that allows you to transfer small changes between relatives and acquaintances. And this was a very good propaganda for the mobile payment, and everybody started to use it. In 2015, we passed a series of new laws to regulate the mobile payment. And in 2017, another interbank connection company was established. It's called Nesta Union. This company was supposed to compete with UnionPay, and with its introduction, it practically brought down the commission level and diversified the service in the payment. In 2018, WeChat Pay connected to UnionPay. In fact, the introduction of Nesta Union in 2017 was to separate the online payment from offline payment. But in 2018, when WeChat started to connect to UnionPay, this separation actually was merged. In 2019, we started the massive deployment of facial recognition payment. Actually, the government and the banks and the WeChat and Alipay, they invested huge money in this new technology. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic situation, people started to wear a mask. This process was stopped a little bit, but I believe that after the pandemic situation, it will boost again. This chart shows the fast growth of mobile payment in China. Today, actually, the data here is a little bit outdated. Today, I believe that 90% of all the transactions, in terms of amount, is done by mobile payment. If you look back into the past years, especially from 2015, you will see the fast growth in this field. And the mobile payment actually grows in parallel with the mobile payment population. If you look at this chart, you see today there are almost 700 million people. 700 million people in China are using mobile payment. And actually, this amount, this population is still increasing every day, because when in China we have a lot of rural areas where the peasants and farmers stay. These people basically are more reluctant to take new technologies. It takes some time for them to start. And I believe that in the past years, these people are also starting to use mobile payment. Today, the non-banking payment market actually is highly concentrated. Alipay and Tencent, they take majority of the market. The date we have here was until the second quarter of 2017. Until then, Alipay took like 40%, almost 40% of the market, and Tencent almost 30%. That adds to almost 70%. And the third biggest is China UnionPay Merchant Service. That's a daughter company of UnionPay. They take about 17%. The situation is that both Alipay and WeChat Pay are still increasing in the years after 2017. So I believe today they take even more in this market. So we described the wide use of mobile payment. We showed the scene, how people are using the convenience brought by the mobile payment. And there is a natural question about it. Why and how this happened in China? Why didn't it happen elsewhere that fast, in that scale? I believe there is a very important timing issue. I put here like 5 fundamental elements for this thing to happen. I will break it down one by one. I believe the first very important factor is the payment gateway to banks. In China, the non-bank payment companies, they had the great chance to build this gateway to all the banks. I have analyzed and studied some other places that when a new company tried to do this business, it's almost impossible for them to negotiate and agree with every bank in the country. But in China, this was pretty easy because we have companies like UnionPay or NestPay or NestUni that they have this connected network already. If you go to them and you sign an agreement, you have the access to all the banks immediately. If you have access to all the banks immediately, you can provide service to all the population in the country. Think about it. If you have a service that you can offer to 1.4 billion people, you can do it easily. That's the first factor. The second important factor, I believe, is the fast growth of e-commerce. When the e-commerce grows, you need a new method, a fast, secure way of payment. Cash won't work. Plastic card won't work. First, plastic card was not so widely accepted in China. Secondly, it was not secure enough, in fact, based on the infrastructure that we had. With the fast growth of e-commerce, the market needed a new method for payment. That's also a very important factor. Another factor is the smart device penetration. Before the time when people had smartphones, before the time people had smart applications, the things people could do on the mobile phones were very limited. But with the introduction of smart devices, both for the users and for the merchants, people can compose complicated applications and integrate a lot of business logic into the payment process. That is another factor. The fourth factor, I believe, is the incentive from the two major players, aka Alipay and WeChat Pay. Because these companies, they dominated this market. They can invest huge money, incentives to attract the users, to educate them, and because they dominated the market, the money they invest can sure return to them their pockets in the later phase. So they are very bold to invest huge money in new technologies. And the fifth vital element, I think, is the approval from the authority, the government. The Chinese government, I think, is pretty bold and aggressive in this aspect. They take the decision to approve the new technology, the new methods in the payment, and they take the risks. As a result, when it works out well, the benefit from it. I think that's the 5 fundamental elements that the mobile payment happened just in time in China. In terms of technologies, we see several main technology that is used in the mobile payment. We have NFC, the near field contactless. This technology is fast and fluent. It has perfect user experience. When you use NFC, you don't need to start your application to use it. Just wave your mobile phone or plastic card, NFC card, before the accepting device. But from the other side, it has a shortcoming. For the NFC, you need to upgrade your devices for accepting. In the point of sale, you need to put new terminals. You need to put new devices. This is a huge burden for the acquiring institutions. For example, even today in Brazil, we've been talking about NFC for quite a long time, but still a lot of the point of sale terminals are still not equipped with NFC, because this is huge money. Also, the NFC technology actually is more isolated. I mean, when you use NFC to pay, you usually just pay, because this technology is application irrelevant. When we turn to other technology like QR code, the payment process can be connected with other process, with the business logic, with other services that will bring a new field for the new incentives for the acquirers. Compared to NFC, the QR code is fast, it has good user experience, and it usually is low, is cheaper in terms of cost. And the very good thing about QR code is that it's always binding with the application. Here in China, for example, you usually bind them with WeChat Pay or Alipay. When you bind the application with QR code, it means every time you pay with QR code, you need to start the application. When you need to start the application, you have this opportunity to expose your series of services to the users. This is a great attraction for the companies that promote this kind of technologies. Also, with QR code, it's very easy to integrate business logic. For example, you can put a loyalty program, promotion, discount, targeting advertisement, etc., all with the QR code payment. As I mentioned before, facial recognition payment is also getting widely accepted. This is a topic of debate, of discussion, in fact. A lot of people are worried about the privacy leak, possible privacy leak in this field. But I personally believe that with good restriction, with good regulations, you can use this technology for the good use. Facial recognition can be more efficient and more secure, in fact. MPOS is another technology for the mobile payment. This is a solution for it's a mobile merchant solution for the micro market, for personal financing, for example, and for people who trade small, low-cost products, small items. And QR code reader and generator, these are also the devices used for the mobile payment. And also smart terminals. Smart terminals are much stronger in terms of computation power. You put your business application together with payment application in one device. That is a big advantage for the merchants. I have another short video clip that shows the fish payment.
This is me using my face to get into a convenience store in China. where you can buy food through facial recognition technology. Using your face to buy food is already a reality. Here's one system that KFC and Chinese search engine giant Baidu implemented in China. KFC's system even remembers your face and food preferences, so it can better recommend you new products. Much like KFC, this convenience store revisited in the city of Shenzhen has partnered with a tech giant, in this case, the payment app WeChat Pay, to create an experimental face-to-food experience. The store, Zhouheya, encourages people to play and pay with facial recognition technology. With just your face and a simple thumbs up, the system will deduct money from your linked WeChat account. Making my mobile payment by facial recognition juice.
I don't get this.
This may feel very dystopian.
So as we see here, the facial payment, why it is so important and so attractive to the market? It's not just the payment effect. Payment in this process is a small part. In fact, if you use this kind of technology, you have a lot of better chances to introduce your overall business to the users. For example, when you use your facial information to pay in the restaurant, you enter the restaurant, before anything else, the restaurant could recognize you. If you are constant regular, if you're a regular customer, they can check out your previous history in this restaurant and recommend the food that you're likely to buy. And this kind of technology will help to enhance the service level in all the merchants. So I believe this kind of technology will progress aggressively in the coming years. So this is a question that was often asked here in China. Why people prefer QR code over NFC? Because if you look in other countries, like in Europe or in United States, even in Latin America, NFC actually is quite popular. People use them a lot. But in China, the QR code basically beat NFC. Today, I would like to say that the NFC actually is almost only limited to transportation when people use their NFC card to access buses, subways. Why did this happen? I think that there are several reasons. First, the QR code is easier to integrate with business applications. This is the vital elements for the business developers. When they adopt a new technology, they're not just trying to replace the old payment method. They are trying to bring a new value-added point, and the QR code is easy for this purpose. The second reason, I believe, is the relatively low cost in terms of equipment. The QR code generator and reader are basically cheaper than the NFC readers. And when you start to use the QR code payment, you don't need to rebuild. You don't need to upgrade your whole acquiring system with a huge investment of equipment. And the third reason, I believe, that in the NFC technology, when we talk about business, there is a longer interest chain. When there is a longer interest chain, you need to persuade everybody who is taking part in this process. And persuading everybody is never a task easy, right? So to promote the NFC, actually, it was more difficult in China than to promote QR code. In the payment business, we see two models, in fact, in China. We call the 4-side model and the 3-side model. When in this 4-side model, that's the traditional way, like Visa and MasterCard. They have the issuer, they have the acquirer, and they have the they have the merchant, and they have the end user. But in QR code business, they turn this into the 3-side model, where usually the acquirer and the issuer actually are combined together, like Alipay or WeChat Pay. They work both like the issuer and the acquirer. This way, they reduce a lot of the conflicts between the 4 sides and makes it easier to implement new technologies. Mobile payment, first of all, I believe it's a revenue generator. It brings new profit for business. There is the classic business model, the merchant discount rate. For every transaction, the acquiring company, it takes a percentage from the payment. That's their fundamental income. In mobile payment, usually they offer relatively low rate compared to traditional bank card MDR. But from the other hand, they generate huge revenue, because when people use mobile payment, they pay every day, everywhere, all the time. Today, this market is a Chinese scale market in China, and it's still increasing as the mobile payment is penetrating from low-end, small amount payment to more higher end. For example, in the past, people pay just the food, pay restaurant by mobile payment. And if you go to a hotel, you probably use your credit card, plastic card. But today, in the hotels, you can also pay with mobile payment. So this kind of high-end and big amount situations are also being penetrated by mobile payment. And mobile payment is also very important in the meaning that it is the infrastructure for O2O. With mobile payment, it becomes easier for the businesses to merge their online and offline business. And the mobile payment actually closes the O2O loop. Without mobile payment, it's not easy for the innovative companies to bring their online business with offline business. For example, if you remember, we played the video clip at the beginning of this presentation. We can rent a bike with the QR code. Before the QR code payment was introduced, this process actually was difficult. It's not easy for people to pay for this kind of service. Another important factor is that mobile payment actually makes the entry point for a lot of new service, new business. Today, in China, the mobile payment, they are very closely connected with Alipay and WeChat Pay. And Alipay and WeChat Pay, they actually offers a huge portfolio of services, not just limited to payment. So if you access the applications every day, it's easy for them to expose and promote their services to you. Also, mobile payments actually builds the infrastructure. With mobile payment, basically the infrastructure was done. If you start a new business, you don't need to worry about the payment part. You just take a service from a third party and it's ready to go. In the mobile payment, the business model actually is changed, is migrated from the traditional way. In many countries, in many places, when people are talking about electronic payment, they think about the acquiring business, the MDR, the classic traditional way. This, of course, is very reliable because you just think about it. You take a percentage from every transaction. That's easy money, and it's reliable, but it's under challenge because of the competition. All the acquirers actually are reducing their MDRs all the time. But with the introduction of mobile payment, people in the field are migrating from simply collecting MDR to some more advanced field, some more profitable and long-term income generators, like, for example, software. This is the first level migration. There you can integrate your ERP, for example, your business automation, your customer care system into the payment software, and turn your payment point of sale into a business solution device. And the third level of migration, I believe, is more value-added services. When you treat the payment just as an entry point, you open a big picture of a lot of new value-added service. For example, the big data application, the loyalty application, the consumer behavior analysis, this kind of things, they can all be put on the point of sale devices, and you can use these to expand your business.
Larry, my friend.
Yes, Paul.
Hey, my friend, I'm truly sorry to interrupt you. We have so many questions on the air. I'm just worried that we are about some limited time for the broadcast. So if you don't mind, I would like to stop for just a little bit and open up some space for some questions to you. Is that okay, Larry?
Sure, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, I will just start with the first one that is a little bit more connecting with Brazil, everybody. So very nice presentation. Thank you so much. We can see the future, and we see, that so far behind we are right now, looking at your videos and your presentation. So this is incredible. Thank you so much. So I see that one of the challenges is to mobile payments is for the app itself, right? Because it takes a lot of money and time to convince people to download an app, right? To keep in your mobile phone and start using and keeping using it, right? So the question to you is that, do you consider that the WeChat was a key success factor for the mobile payments in China? In Brazil, we have the WhatsApp, which is similar to the WeChat, but we already see movements of the payments trying to include the WeChat in Brazil. So the question is, do you consider that this was a key success factor to start the mobile payments in China?
Yes, Paulo, I believe so. As I said before, that there are two giants in China, the Alipay and WeChat Pay. They both had their incentive, they have their advantage to start this business. for Alipay, actually, they were working in e-commerce for a long time, and they had their customers already online. So for them, it's easy to bring them to offline payment. And for WeChat, it's easy. This is the app people use every day, like WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So next question, I think, is from Thiago.
Okay. Now, if there is a limit on the amount of transactions by QR code through WeChat and Alipay, and what are the fraud control and authentication tools in these transactions?
A good question.
Okay, I think there was a limit in the past. I think like it was like a 5,000 yuan something that translates to $700. But today, I think basically they removed this limit and leave it to the issue bank to decide. And in terms of security measures, I believe that in the mobile payment, especially in QR code payment, they move the security measures mostly to the cloud, and they use big data instead of the hardware security devices on the point of sale. As the figures shows, I believe that the security level is pretty high. We don't see a lot of fraud in this field, in fact.
Okay. Next question, please, from Andre.
The PAX customer-facing device is not a near future, but it's happening now in PAX Technology. I believe he's asking if
for the face payments, I think, right?
Yeah. In fact, today we are developing and shipping them already in China. We have a specific device for both for Alipay and WeChat Pay, and for the devices that we ship overseas, we also have the facial recognition functions embedded. So in any places, if this function is needed, we have the corresponding products. Okay,
so thank you, Larry. So what do you like to say to the people listening to you as your final remarks about the future in Brazil? What you can see for us living in China and looking all this, all the things happening over there?
Okay, thank you, Paulo. Basically, it's my great pleasure to share this information with you guys in Brazil. I have been working very closely with my partner, Gilberto, and his company, Transire, in Brazil for many years. And actually, I believe that the payment market in Brazil is pretty advanced, in fact. The infrastructure is pretty good, and the electronic payment penetration is very high, in fact. This is a good market, and it's good regulations, good profits for everybody. And also, I see that there is a lot of opportunity to migrate to new technologies that can bring down the cost of transactions, that can bring more value-added services for the customers. So in this aspect, we as the device and the solution provider, we are ready when this happens. If anybody needs any help, we are here to do this job together.
Really, really nice, Larry. Really nice. This market segment is really heated up, right, in Brazil. It's very nice to see a lot of creativity on the solutions going around of those payment solutions and all of that. And it's amazing partnership with you and PAX. So thank you for all the support. thank you for this presentation. Very enlightening for everyone that is trying to see the future in our Brazilian electronic payments and mobile payments, Larry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paulo. My pleasure. Hope to see you face to face.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.